Hello everybody, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips, and as you know on Tuesdays we always start with a couple of announcements, and the first one is holiday gifts. It is that time of year, and we make some fabulous gifts here at Wellness Forum Health, particularly in the foods division. Gingerbread biscotti, which we only make between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we ship it all over the world, and also holiday vegan cookies, and then gift certificates, that sort of thing. But people love these cookies. In fact, I've already had some hints from people I know. I'm going to gatherings and that sort of thing. Are you going to bring some cookies with you? People ask me things like that. So, and this building smells like gingerbread every day. It's almost intoxicating. So don't miss out on an opportunity to send something really unique or give something really unique to your friends, take to parties, etc. And they come in really pretty gift tins with tissue. They're well packaged as well. Second thing is tonight I'm doing a workshop at 9 p.m. Eastern on education and credibility. What does it take to have credibility in this field? Do you go to medical school? Do you go to dietetic school? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes you do something else. So these are questions that a lot of people have, and we're going to spend an hour or so talking about it on Tuesday at 9. And then winter semester starts in a month. It's 5 weeks, I guess it is now. And so as remote as that seems, because it's actually 2017, it's not that remote, it's a few weeks away. So if you want to know about our course offerings, we offer some fabulous classes. I'm going to teach a class in children's health and nutrition. It's a 12-class series that you can take live, plant-based nutrition and health. We're offering anatomy, chemistry 2, food preparation, or institutional food rather, which our fabulous Chef Dell teaches about how some of our ideas can infiltrate some of the institutional settings around the country. So, interested in any of that, send me an email at pampopper@msn.com. All right, today we're going to talk about vitamin A. And sometimes I talk about news that's current. Sometimes I just talk about things that are the source of a lot of misunderstandings, and this happens to be one of them. Vitamin A, like all vitamins, is important, particularly for visual function. It's consumed in food, either preformed vitamin A in animal foods or provitamin A carotenoids, which are found in plant foods like leafy green vegetables and yellow and orange fruit and vegetables. Of all the carotenoids, beta-carotene has the highest potential for conversion to vitamin A, so it's the carotenoid most often discussed in reference to meeting vitamin A requirements. There are, however, literally hundreds of other carotenoids, and unfortunately those get forgotten, and what is included in supplements is beta-carotene. Humans convert most beta-carotene into vitamin A in the intestine, with some conversion taking place in other tissues in the body. There are several factors that affect the conversion of provitamin A carotenoids to vitamin A, and these include the individual foods consumed, the way in which foods are prepared, and to a certain extent, although less than many people think, fat intake. Some studies show that BMI affects conversion. People with more body fat have a reduced capability to convert provitamin A carotenoids to vitamin A. Now, there are a lot of health conditions associated with being overweight or obese, and this reduced conversion capacity is probably one of the contributing factors to that particular situation. Now, promoters of animal foods-based diets often claim that it's better to consume preformed vitamin A. They use it as an argument to tell people why they should consume copious amounts of animal foods. One of them is that one of the arguments that goes to this point is that humans just don't convert the plant version to vitamin A efficiently. Others claim that people eating a low-fat plant-based diet are certainly going to be deficient in vitamin A because they don't take in enough fat to facilitate the conversion and absorption and utilization of vitamin A. But I can assure you that people eating a low-fat plant-based diet are not at risk of becoming vitamin A deficient. In fact, if you look around the world, many well-nourished populations worldwide eat a low-fat and plant-based diet and obtain most, if not all, of their carotenoids from food in the form of precursor beta-carotene from plant foods. Disease rates are lower in these places. This is a topic for a different day, but you can look at a map of the world where people are eating more of a low-fat plant-based diet and see that the disease rates are lower there, including blindness, which is how we started this discussion, than in westernized countries where people eat a much higher fat and higher animal protein diet. Daily vitamin A requirements are expressed in micrograms of retinol activity equivalents, or RAEs, which take into account the variation in conversion and absorption rates depending on the food source of provitamin A. Now, the current RDA for RAEs, I hope you got that, recommended daily allowance for RAEs, or retinol activity equivalents, is 900 micrograms for men and 700 micrograms for women. Different foods have different conversion ratios. So spinach has a conversion ratio of 21:1, carrots have a conversion ratio of 15:1. Foods that have a better conversion ratio and bioavailability due to their digestible food matrix include things like spirulina and rice. So I have a list of foods, and I'll just select a couple of them to tell you about that are commonly included in a plant-based diet and the micrograms of RAE per cup. So butternut squash is at the top of the list with 1,144 RAEs per cup. Kale, 885 per cup. Cantaloupe, 299 per cup. Romaine lettuce, 205. Broccoli, 120. Asparagus, 90. The list goes on, but think about a cup of broccoli is not that much. In fact, at one of my favorite restaurants here in town, where I order a broccoli dish, they probably bring me 6 cups of broccoli just in that one dish that I get in that one place. And it comes with rice, which also has a great conversion ratio. So the point that I'm making is that it is very easy to meet the RDA for dietary RAEs, and most of us who eat an optimal diet, low fat and plant-based, are exceeding this on a daily basis. Now, I want to talk about this fat issue, which comes up all the time, and it's brought up because we do promote a lower fat plant-based diet here. It is true that some dietary fat is needed for conversion, absorption, and utilization of carotenoids. Now, no question we probably need more research in this area, but many research studies have concluded that the amount of fat needed to ensure utilization of provitamin A carotenoids is about 2.4 grams of fat per meal. Now, it's easy to consume this amount of fat without eating any animal foods, and also without adding any high-fat plant foods like avocados and nuts to your diet. And I'll give you some examples. A cup of chickpeas contains 4 grams of fat. 1/2 cup of tofu has 6 grams of fat, and even a cup of blackberries contains a gram of fat. I don't think very many people are at risk of becoming fat deficient if they're strictly eating low-fat plant foods based on these types of numbers. So this idea that people are fat deficient is a myth, and particularly in the United States. I mean, maybe once a year I see somebody coming into this office who really isn't eating enough fat, but it's a rarity. I assure you, it's a rarity. Some of the concern about this issue comes up from time to time because of the fact that many people in developing countries suffer from vitamin A deficiency, and in many areas it still remains the leading cause of childhood blindness. There are several factors that contribute to vitamin A deficiency in these areas, including malnutrition, infectious disease, and malabsorption due to gastrointestinal conditions. As a result of these and many other factors, people living in these areas suffer from all kinds of nutrient deficiencies. It's not just vitamin A. And the deficiency isn't because the diet that they're eating couldn't have enough of carotenoids that convert to vitamin A. It's because they don't have enough food. So the solution to this is adequate calorie intake. Even if exclusively from plant foods, it would eliminate the problem. So I think so often we confuse food scarcity with deficiency. This happens with protein a lot, for example. There are places in the world where people suffer from protein deficiency, but those are places where people don't have enough food. Increase the calorie intake from almost any food source, including junk foods, not that I would encourage it, and the protein intake comes up to where it needs to be. So if you're going to solve vitamin A deficiency in populations for which it really is an issue, it involves addressing many problems ranging from sanitation to better health care to providing more food and calories in the daily diet. Resolving these issues will take a lot of time and a lot of resources, but in the interim, there are some very successful supplementation programs that have been instituted in some areas, which has reduced the incidence of childhood blindness. And there are some areas of the world where just increasing fruit and vegetable intake has resolved the issue. So this is important, and one of the reasons I bring it up is that we don't have enough money and resources to increase the animal food intake in any more populations, and what we need to be doing is spending time and resources and efforts in reducing animal food consumption, not encouraging more. So the bottom line is that people living in westernized countries, including those who are eating a calorically adequate, low-fat and plant-based diet, are not at risk of vitamin A deficiency. And I sort of am still amazed when I deal with these issues where I prepare articles and respond to emails about deficiency, when the problem in most places is we have diseases of excess, not deficiency. Most people are getting too much of everything. So I think we should focus on that rather than making up deficiency conditions which really don't exist in well-fed populations. Okay, that's all for today. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it, and I'll be back to you on Thursday with more news.